The learning curve of Elite Dangerous can be intimidating, but I'm going to show you my top tips for getting started in Elite. Greetings, Commander. I am a Cree. I'm an Elite Dangerous YouTuber and streamer. Speaking of, catch me live on twitch.tv/Cree. I'm live from 11 AM Thursdays to Saturday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. So I gather you're new here and you want to make sense of it all. Asking questions like, where do I begin? What the balls is an FSS? How do I fly this glorified doorstop? And why is Star Citizen still not released? Well, I can't answer the latter, but I can help you with the rest. So you're a new player and you want to get started. First thing I'd suggest is, please, for the love of all things good, do the tutorials. The training simulations will help you have a good grasp of how to take off and land and fly the ship in general and travel around. I would suggest you do the challenge scenarios as well, just so you can really hone in on those skills. You know, grab it by the back of the head and give it a good spanking. Anyway, so once you've done those, you're off into the real world of Elite Dangerous. Now you will be met with your first mission. I definitely suggest you do your first mission. But one thing before you do that, I would suggest that you go into your key mapping. First thing I would probably suggest that you do is go to Flight Miscellaneous and key in a key for Super Cruise. I'd suggest K because it's right next to J, where you would use that for your frame shift drive, which is what you use to jump from system to system. Whereas the Super Cruise will allow you to travel light speeds within a system. And of course, going through any other key binding mishaps that might be here. I don't know why they're not put in automatically, but you know, you get that, I guess. Now, what I would suggest that you do when you do first start doing your own missions from the mission board, I would suggest doing data delivery missions. Because you're in a Sidewinder, there isn't much room for much cargo, for mining or trade. So probably the best job that you could do is the courier jobs. This is good to start off with. They don't pay the best, but you can infinitely stack them. So it's a good thing to do and also helps you get used to flying around, landing, and basically working on your flying skills. So once you've had your fill of the data delivery missions, I would suggest moving on to doing some trade or passenger missions with another type of ship. Depending on your budget, depends on what type of ship that you have, so that depends on the build that you want to go with. To look at different builds, I would suggest going to this website, Coriolis.io. It's a great site for you to play around with builds. So if you're looking to move on to a Cobra Mark III, for example, you can basically fiddle around with what you want to build and make changes wherever without having to spend a cent. And this way you will know exactly how the build will work and even the cost down the bottom. Now I'm sure you've heard that mining can be super lucrative, which it can be, definitely. But you will need to make sure that you have the right ship and build and go to the right areas. There is a fantastic tool for this. So the first tool that I would suggest checking out is the Miners tool. This is where you can check to see where you are, find out what you want to mine for out of these selections here, and then it'll tell you where you need to go closest to where you are and where the closest selling point is and for how much. Another couple of sites that you can use to check out what materials are good for mining and selling, then you can check out the Elite Dangerous database or Inara websites. Both of them have commodity sections, so you're able to have a look at what things cost and what they sell for at the moment, so you can figure out what exactly you want to mine for. Now, as for exploring, this is another way that you can make a lot of cash doing. I would definitely suggest using the Road to Riches Pathfinder website. It tells you exactly what system, the jump range, the planet, distance, type, and whether or not you have marked off that you've scanned it already. so that you can get more bang for your buck when you are out in the black. And another thing that you'll need to do is that you'll need to learn how to use the FSS and the DSS. The FSS is the full system scanner and the DSS is the detailed surface scanner. The system scanner is basically what you use to scan the whole system from where you are. The detailed surface scanner is what you use to scan certain types of planets and rings, to find hotspots if you are mining, and using the scanner for the planet surfaces, because certain types of planets are more lucrative to scan for. For example, the Earth-like worlds, water worlds, ammonia worlds, and terraformable worlds. But you'll be able to see these details when you use your FSS. Now, if you want to know how to use those tools, I would suggest checking out this video here. Another thing that I want to talk about is doing combat. Combat used to be a bit shit, not gonna lie. It was the most unbalanced thing of the game. The ratio for risk and reward was pretty much non-existent. It was ridiculous. But now they have created a massive boon to what you receive for the kills that you get from bounties and resource extraction sites. I previously probably wouldn't have suggested getting into combat. As much as blowing shit up is a lot of fun, it wasn't very lucrative, but now it is. I do have a video on getting started in combat using the Sidewinder, so I'd suggest you check out that video here to see what it's like. The next thing I want to talk about is power play. At some point you'll hear about it. Power play at the start I would pretty much avoid. It's not super important to get involved with, it is completely up to you, but the main reason why anybody would get into power play is because of the modules that different powers give you. And you have to wait real life 4 weeks for access to that module. So it's completely up to you if you want to get into it, but at the start I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot barge pole. Now, as for engineers, upgrading your modules can definitely have its perks, but I would probably avoid doing any form of engineering at the start. It's really not necessary, and it's more of a late game kind of thing, and I would suggest that you wait until you have a firm grip of the game. Now, the sites that I've showed today in this video will be linked in the description, and also if you wanted to see the other top third-party tools, definitely check out this video here. These tips will help you get started. Let me know in the comments below what helped you out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Fly safe, Commander.